Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Prince Harry, Sussex Squad, we got a major victory. You guys, and what has been a remarkable turn of events. Yesterday, we were the first to report that there was a settlement. Okay, everybody reported that, but we were first to say must seriously consider this because this is the end of William's reign of terror. This is the end of William's reign of terror. You guys, so much has happened, okay? When that settlement was offered, and baby, it is high eight figures. High. Some people say it might even be in the nine-figure range. What Harry knew, what Harry found out, what him slaying dragons bought him, literally set to not just expose Murdoch Group, but to shake the royal family down to his core. Harry was holding all the cards. He got offered a settlement. Some people said the settlement's not such a good idea, which is true. Because in UK law, if somebody offers you a huge settlement and you choose not to take it, if you win, you owe them money for wasting the court's time. I know it's so different than the way we do things in America, but listen, there was a valid point. However, I said it's not just the settlement. Legal experts are saying that the Murdoch Group is going to make an agreement where they back off of Harry and Meghan. And let's also not forget this is not just Harry and Meghan, it was Archie and Lilibet. If you think for a second that those royals would not go out their way to publicly humiliate and torture Archie and Lilibet for the rest of their young adult into adult lives, you must not know the cruelty that is rumored to be the men in gray. So, what was our assumption, Sussex Squad? That it wasn't just about the money, even though the money was looking right. It was about providing future safety for his wife and children, future safety for their children's children's. It was about the Murdoch Group admitting defeat, publicly backing off, and having more nuanced reporting of Harry and Meghan. Now, when I say nuanced, right? Listen, let's get into it. I talk about Kate and William all day. Y'all know my opinion. You cannot stop people from saying what they want about you. However, you can stop the vicious psychological warfare waged upon basically a whole segment of the British government on two private citizens. Okay? So we have that. Now, I said that if the Murdoch Group bows down and eats humble pie and ensures some sort of safe passage, that Harry would take the settlement. That does not mean he is a loser, doesn't mean he's a quitter. It means, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Harry has two young children. He has a wife that he loves. Even in that Vanity Fair hit piece that was all over the place, right? They said that even with that stupid lie that Meghan was shopping around a divorce book, Meghan would not have to shop around anything. That's how I knew it was a lie. People be rushing to her. Anything she writes at this point would be a bestseller. There would be a bidding war. She doesn't have to quietly shop around like she's some unknown actress that does origami for a living. No shade if you do origami for a living, right? But, right? The truth of the matter with all this is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to spend your life playing whack a mole, trying to cut every head off of the beast, as if you do not have a wife or two young children at home that need you, that you don't want to do anything but dedicate your time? While you have a whole arm of the British government, i.e., the royal family, coming down on your throats. Baby, Harry got everything he wanted. What are the indications that he got everything he wanted? Oh, there are many. They announced the settlement. But guess what? Rupert Murdoch also wrote an apology. He wrote a public apology. On top of that, they have turned over a dossier of information to the police to get people arrested. What's more, or at least charges brought up. I don't know how it works in the UK. What's more, Harry signed no NDA, which lets you know the information he knows. He can talk about it at any time he sees fit. Harry has triumphed. Meghan has triumphed. And William's I would say Charles's, but God's taking care of Charles's reign of terror. William's reign of terror is over. Harry has effectively neutralized his brother. He's effectively neutralized the Royal Rota, and they will have to find a new somebody else. They'll have to Beatrice and her Italian husband, Eugene and her husband, maybe even William and Kate. He's not king yet. They maybe even Camilla's kids. Like I said yesterday, the royal family and the royal rota always find a boogeyman that they destroy. And unfortunately, for everybody that stayed silent, for everybody that went along with Camilla's plans, for everyone that went along with Charles's stuff, because Camilla and Charles are the only ones important right now. For everyone that stood quietly by and begged to show up at that stupid, like, what is it? That stupid garden party on the lawn where it smelled like sewage. For everybody that begged to be at front seat at the coronation. For everybody that threw away their morals, their integrity, and any sense of loyalty to kiss the rings of power. Congratulations. You got what you asked for, but not what you wanted. You might be the next Harry and Meghan. That's right, baby. You might be the next target. That's right. You might be the people that the Royal Rota decide to target and torture you and rip you apart just so William can keep gallivanting and Kate can keep, I don't even know what Kate does at this point. Y'all, this is monumental. Let's get into this. The sweet, sweet smell of victory. Listen, they say when you slay dragons, you get burned. Harry wasn't the one that got burned, or maybe he was wearing a fireproof vest of love. I know that was cheesy, but this is a huge monumental win. And watch how this coverage, this obsession with Harry starts to fade in the Murdoch group. They're going to have to find a new victim. Congratulations, Harry and Meghan, for doing this. Let's get into the actual details. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. Listen, Sir Mark Rowley, this statement. So there's a Tom Watson on Twitter actually did a live tweet of everything that happened in the courtroom. There's a few interesting things that stuck out. This statement, he said, Sir Mark Rowley said in court, when you receive our dossier exposing wrongdoing, will the Metropolitan Police act? And when I read that, I said, Jason Knauf, you better count it in effing days. This statement sticks out the most from Tom Watson on Twitter. It appears that in Prince Harry's settlement, they were able to keep all the evidence they uncovered from the emails they gained access to. To the Prime Minister, I know you care deeply about fairness and law, but are we really willing to continue as a country where some corporate executives are above the law and out of reach of police? Harry's lawyer, Tom Watson, also read a statement and praises Prince Harry. He said, I once said that the big beasts of the tabloid jungle have no predators. I was wrong. They have Prince Harry. His bravery and astonishing coverage have brought accountability to a part of the media that I would have thought it no longer existed. Woo! A part of the media world that thought it was untouchable. I'm sure I speak on behalf of the thousands of victims when I say we are grateful to him for his unwavering support and his determination under extraordinary pressure. Yo, please. I know William is mad because all William cares about is looking strong and brave and tough. Something he will never be. Did y'all see that little photo op he did with boxing gloves? It looked like a 2-year-old trying to put gloves on. His wrists were like buckling under the pressure. Listen, they said Alan Bridgester, what's his name? Bridgester, tweeted, it will be premature of Will Lewis, the CEO of the Washington Post, to feel relief at this result, since Tom Watson says a dossier has been sent to the police. If it's anything like Prince Harry's skeleton argument, it will be raising troubling questions. Yo, Hugh Grant retweeted that and said, and this. Don't forget, Hugh Grant actually joined Harry in the lawsuit. I think everybody settled except for Harry. Harry has now settled too. You guys, keep in mind, settlement is not a bad thing if you get what you want. You have to think, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to take the time, energy, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears fighting a championship fight to the ninth or 10th round? Or do you want a knockout punch and have the person concede in the fifth round? Which do you want? Again, Harry had a lot to lose. Not that he was wrong, but keep in mind he had a family to raise, be present for, love, and protect. There's so much he wants to do in this world. There's so much Meghan wants to do in this world. Ooh. Now, lastly, I'm going to leave you with Prince Harry's full statement. It's a long one, but let's get into this. But you know what? You deserved it. Let's read this statement. In a monumental victory today, the News UK have admitted that The Sun, the flagship title for Rupert Murdoch's UK media empire, has indeed engaged in illegal practices. This represents a vindication for the hundreds of other claimants who were strong armed into settling without being able to get to the truth of what was done to them. After endless resistance, denials, and legal battles by the news group newspapers, I would like to add that we're joined in and piled on by your own MF and family that are now going to be the subject of Murdoch's wrath. Because at the end of the day, because they were the royal family was so arrogant and thought they couldn't get caught, they left a paper trail as wide as the Hudson River in New York and as long. They are the reason that Murdoch was taken under, including spending more than £1 billion in payouts and in legal costs, as well as paying off those in the know to prevent the full picture from coming out. News UK is finally held to account for its illegal actions and its blatant disregard for the law. It is also specifically admitted the wrongdoing against Tom Watson and admitted unlawful acts by the Sun, as well as the news of the world against Prince Harry. The truth that has now been exposed is the NGN unlawfully engaged in more than 100 private investigators over the last 16 years on more than 35,000 occasions. This happened as much at the Sun as it did at the News of the World, with the knowledge of all editors and executives going to the very top of the company. Piers Morgan, I want to hear you comment on this. What's even worse is that in the wake of the 2006 arrest of a royal correspondent, there was an extensive conspiracy to cover up what really had been going on and who knew about it. Senior executives deliberately obstructed justice by deleting over 30 million emails, destroying backup tapes, and making false denials, all in the face of an ongoing police investigation. They then repeatedly lied under oath to cover their tracks, both in court and at the Leveson public inquiry. At her trial in 2014, Rebecca Brooks said, "When I was the editor of The Sun, we ran a clean ship. Now, 10 years later, when she is CEO of the company, they now admit when she was editor of The Sun, they ran a criminal enterprise." Far from being relics of a distant past, many of those behind these unlawful practices remain firmly entrenched in senior positions today. Both the News UK and other media outlets across the world. Don't forget, a lot of them actually fled to the United States. That's why you see so many Meghan and Harry hit pieces, Meghan especially. They fled both within the News UK and other media outlets across the world, wielding editorial power and perpetrating the toxic culture in which they continue to thrive. It's perhaps no surprise that all of their senior executives and editors refuse to turn up to court to give evidence. The failure of each of these key individuals to come and answer questions under oath spoke volumes in itself, but their collective silence is deafening. Today's result has been achieved only through the sheer resilience of Prince Harry and Lord Watson, whose willingness to take NGN to trial has led directly to its historic admission of unlawfulness. It has only been by taking NGN not just to the steps of the court, but inside the courtroom itself, that these claimants have finally managed to extract their historic admission of guilt. As a direct result of him taking a stand, Prince Harry and his immediate family Oh, he said his immediate family have also had to repeatedly withstand aggressive and vengeful coverage since starting his claim over 5 years ago. This has created serious concerns for the security of him and his family. The rule of law must now run its full course. Prince Harry and Tom Watson joined others in calling for the police and Parliament to investigate not only the unlawful activity now finally admitted, but the perjury and cover ups along the way. Jason Knauf, we looking at you. William, they coming for you. It's clear now that this occurred throughout this process, including through sworn evidence in inquiries and court hearings and testimony to Parliament, until today's final collapse of NGN's defense. Today, the lies are laid bare. Today, the cover ups are exposed. And today proves that no one stands above the law. The time for accountability has arrived. I'm willing to bet also in the settlement when they said increase their security concerns. I'm willing to bet that they're also encouched in the settlement. They're going to have to pay for probably his increased security costs that he had to do. Um, NGN also made an apology. They said they offer a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for a serious intrusion by the Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for the Sun. We also offer a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for the phone hacking surveillance and misuse of private information by journalists and private investigators instructed by them at the News of the World. We further apologize to the Duke for the impact on him of the extensive coverage and serious intrusion into his private life, as well as the private life of Diana, Princess of Wales, his late mother, in particular during his younger years. We acknowledge and apologize for the distress caused to the Duke and damage inflicted on relationships, friendships, and family, and have agreed to pay him substantial damages. It is also acknowledged without any admission of illegality that the NGN's response to the 2006 arrests and subsequent actions were regrettable. We also offer a full and unequivocal apology to Lord Watson for the unwanted intrusion carried out into his private life during his time in the government by the NGN. This includes him being placed under surveillance in 2009 by journalists at the News of the World and those instructed by them. NGN also acknowledges and apologizes for the adverse impact this has had to his family and agreed to pay him damages, substantial. In 2011, they received information that information was being passed covertly to Lord Watson from within the News International. We now understand that this information was false and Lord Watson was not in receipt of any such confidential information. NGN apologizes fully and unequivocally for this. You guys, that is what a victory is. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit your notifications, because in the coming days, we're going to see the impact and we're going to see William lash out. We're going to see a bunch of Kate sympathy stories. We're going to see Camilla get her little scrawny fingers, try to get them back into the pie. But you guys, Harry has officially cut the chains and cut the ties that bind to his oppressors, those that he shares his blood with. This is an unequivocal victory. Congratulations to Meghan for saving the prince, for standing by, for proving that love truly is a guiding light. Y'all, this is great news. Congratulations to Meghan and her family for the change that she brought. Little did he know that when he met that blind date, she was going to embolden him, challenge him, support him, and also work as an equal partner to breaking the chains that have been wrapped around his neck for his whole life. Woo! Victory is sweet. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.